council meeting of the municipality of the county of Annapolis in this governance period. We will begin the meeting with roll call, beginning with District 1, please.
Thank you. Bruce Proud.
District 2, Brian Fuzzy-Donnell.
District 3, Dustin Inslow.
District 4, Clay Burton.
District 5, Lynn Longmire.
District 6, Alec Morrison.
District 7, David Hudson.
District 8, Michael Gunn.
District 9, Wendy Sheridan.
District 10, Brad Redden.
District 11, Diane Liddell.
Thank you. Are there any disclosures of interest? All right, and we have approval of the order of the day.
3 requests for additions, please.
Okay,
So there are 3 requests for additions to the agenda. The first will be to have 2 matters dealt with in camera rather than 1. They will be under subsection 22.2A, acquisition, sale, lease, and security of municipal property. And the second item under subsection 22.2E, contract negotiations. The second item for request for addition is under new business 6.4 to set dates for special council meetings and a public hearing in October. And the third request is also under new business 6.5, emergency grant for Maitland Bridge Community Hall. And I believe you have documentation for those items that are added on your desks.
yes. Could I have a motion to adopt the order of the day as amended, please?
Right here, sir.
Councillor Gunn, Councillor Longmire, discussion. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. And we now go to page 3, approval of the July 9th special council minutes. Comments? Thank you. We'll now go to Councillor LeBlanc.
So on page 16, which is the comments from me, from District 11, we need to clean up some of these. There's some errors in there. So we can do that after the fact, or there's some spelling and stuff like that and errors that need to be cleaned up.
No, I think you should. This is page 16 of 34.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I guess the second paragraph is, I was educated about a group in our county named, should be named, 74th Crusaders. A lot of people know about this group, a non-for-profit organization who fundraises for different organizations and individuals. And it should be a sentence with, there are approximately 100 members. Am I going too fast, Dawn?
I'm going to get it from the tape, so, for the first sentence.
Well,
I'm up to where you are.
The sentences are not complete, so this year, and I don't know why, it should be, this year this group will celebrate their 50th year during okay?
Yes.
As sentence forms, I am impressed with this group's help. It's the whole sentence. I'm impressed with the help that this group is providing to so many organizations over the years. And the next sentence, I don't know, bizarre. That should more or less congratulations on your 50 years and looking forward for many more.
Okay,
And I'm done.
thank you. Further comments? Could I have a motion to adopt the minutes as amended? Councillor Hudson, Councillor Gunn, discussion. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. The July 16th regular council minutes. All right, we'll move on to Committee of the Whole recommendations on page 18. Community Facilities Grant, Clarence United Baptist Church. Mara Ensel.
Thank you. I move that municipal council approve a grant to the Clarence United Baptist Church in the amount of $5,000 to assist with the cost of rewiring and painting their church in accordance with Policy 101, Community Grants pursuant to the recommendations of the Committee of the Whole.
You seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. Discussion. Councillor Connell.
I asked a question, I think, last month on supporting churches, and I was told that we didn't support churches. And then all of a sudden, I see this in here. I was wondering if it was because it's
I can answer that.
blacked, or if it's what the situation is.
Thank you. Councillor Ensel.
Thank you. I'm probably going to say the same thing Nancy's going to say, but, so this is really no longer a church, it's a community hall. It's just named still that church to keep the heritage portion of it. So they use it for 4-H, they use it for multiple community suppers and things. It's not an active church anymore, it's just a community center.
The policy actually doesn't exclude religious sanctuaries if they're used in a community hall setting,
Okay.
just for clarification. But again, the ultimate decision's up to council.
Councillor Gunn.
Thank you so much, and if I may ask, didn't we help them out last year with an outside pavilion, the same church, the
No.
same organization?
Same community.
Same
So
community.
yes, so that was the Clarence Community Hall. However, you have helped this church before as well, yes. With one other grant, I believe,
Painting.
2 years ago?
Good.
Yeah.
Thank
2
you.
years ago, yeah. So this would be their second grant they've received, primarily for repairs to the building.
Councillor Ensel.
Thank you. I just want to put in some information about, so this community hall is used a lot by members of Clarence. They even had a celebration for a life of someone that passed in the Clarence community the other day, Mr. Jackson. So this community does use this constantly. And then as well as they also use the community hall, which is further down in Clarence towards Mount Hanley Road, because Clarence Road is huge, right? So, they have,
It's huge.
what's that?
Trunk 10 is huge.
And both of them go from the beginning to the end.
All right, it's longer than Church Street. So, but yeah, so I just wanted to say that this is constantly used, and it's maintained 100% by volunteers, and they really take pride in what they do, so.
They do. They've been quite active and expanding their, especially the market in the summertime has become very popular. You've helped them with the outdoor pavilion with the community hall, and the group is actually still looking to expand property and activities in the community as we speak.
One more question.
Councillor Gunn, please.
Thank you so much. So this community group, the group we helped the pavilion with, and this church are all one group?
No.
No, they're separate entities.
So but we're dealing with this Clarence Baptist Church right now,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Not the pavilion.
That's right.
So, yeah, That's, is it a church? Is it a museum or?
It is technically a church, and they're registered as a charity under a Canadian registered charity as a church. That is why they're entitled to apply for the funding.
Okay.
They are registered as a church.
Sorry, Councillor Longmire.
That's okay. I'm glad that you paused. Nancy was able to answer it in the last sentence. Thank you.
Yep, awesome.
Further comments? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Carried. 5.2, Community Facilities Grant Habitation New Horizons Club. Councillor Longmire?
I move that municipal council approve a grant to the Habitation New Horizons Club in the amount of $4,217.49 to assist with the cost of roof repairs and window replacement in accordance with Policy 101, Community Grants, in accordance with the recommendation of Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Hudson. Discussion, please. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. 5.3, Community Projects Grant, Talia Burn Cat Rescue. Councillor Prout, please.
Thank you. I move that municipal council approve a grant to the Thalia Barn Cat Rescue in the amount of $5,000 to assist with their spay and neuter costs in accordance with Policy 101, Community Grants, pursuant to the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. Discussion. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. Deputy Warden, 5.4, Committees of Council and Council Meetings Procedures.
I move that municipal council amend policy 116, committees of council and council meeting procedures, as circulated and in accordance with 7-day notice given on September 10th.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Sheridan. Discussion. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. Deputy Warden, 5.5, Travel and Expenses.
I move that municipal council approve policy 128, travel and expenses, as circulated at and with 7-day notice given on September 10th.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Sheridan. Discussion. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Councillor Sheridan, appointments to external organizations.
I move that municipal council approve policy 129, appointments to external organizations as circulated at and with 7-day notice given on September the 10th.
Thank you. Seconded by the Deputy Warden. Discussion. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. 5.7, Councillor LeBlanc, road naming process for shared access road in Meadowvale.
Thank you. I move that municipal council approve the road name Pointer Lane for the shared access road in Meadowvale on PID 0502-6372 in accordance with the recommendation of Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Prout. Discussion. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. Councillor LeBlanc, 5.8, deregistration of municipal heritage property.
Thank you. I move that municipal council hold a public hearing at 11 o'clock a.m. on November 19th, 2024, to consider the deregistration of the Captain James Anthony House, a municipally registered heritage property located at 1625 Granville Road, Port Wade, pursuant to recommendation of Committee of the Whole.
Seconded by Councillor Enslow. Discussion. Oh, Councillor Enslow.
Just a small one. I know we briefly talked about this last time, but it is a shame that they're looking at doing this, but I do understand why.
Excuse me. All we're talking about is whether we will have a meeting
Well, yes.
or not have a meeting.
Yeah. It's a shame that we're having a meeting. But I understand why. Yes.
Further
Like that,
comments?
Yes, it was a good answer.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. 5.9, any costs request to establish a pavilion at the Sports Hub. Councillor Hudson, please.
Yes, thank you. I move that municipal council approve the establishment of a new pavilion structure up to 30 by 50 feet and no greater height than 15 feet at the Annapolis County Regional Outdoor Sports Hub that will be purchased and funded by the Annapolis County Outdoor Sports Hub Society on lands located north of the artificial track, provided they meet all the regulations associated with building permits and development permits that are required and subject to the approval of the Director of Municipal Operations as to the exact location and installation requirements in accordance with the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Anslow. Discussion. Councillor Anslow.
I just want to say I look forward to seeing this put in place. And thank the work of the organization for what they've done so far.
Thank you. Further comments? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. Councillor Barto, 5.10, Employment Equity Policy.
Okay, move that municipal council repeal AM 1.6.1 employment equity policy, 7-day notice given on September 10th.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Longmire. Discussion, please. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Deputy Warden, 5.11, Cornwallis Park Area Advisory Committee recommendations.
I move that municipal council call a planning advisory committee meeting on September 25th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at Felker Hall, Cornwallis Park, for consideration of the proposed Cornwallis Park planning documents pursuant to the recommendation of Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Councillor LeBlanc. Discussion. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Deputy Warden, proposal to the town of Annapolis Royal and the county of Annapolis.
The municipal council requests staff to collaborate with Annapolis Royal to develop a plan for moving forward with the engagement of the international Acadian community for the development of an Acadian research, tourist, cultural center in accordance with recommendations of the Committee of the Whole.
Seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. Discussion, please. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Carried. Page 20.
Thank you. Good. Oh, no, I had a question.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's your last paragraph. Could you explain that? The Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities Committee dealing with municipal autonomy. Could you explain that to us, sir?
And as you know, the internal and external organization of NSFM has been under discussion for a few years. And we had some great and loud exchanges of opinion with regard to the new organization, which was subsequently adopted. And that establishes a number of committees, one of which deals with municipal autonomy, deals with items sent to it by councils, of which there will be further explanation in the month to come, and recommends whether to proceed with these items to a NSFM meeting or not.
Okay. I guess I can put that together. It's kind of vague, though. All right.
But the concept behind it is that councils will submit items for discussion. They submit the items to the committee, items they think are worthy of discussion by the whole of NSFM. and the committee looks at them and recommends or does not recommend to NSFM that NSFM proceed with the object of those requests.
Under control, but anyway, thank you very much for your explanation.
In that note, would it be placed as a vote for all the different municipalities to vote on them before it hits NFS, like in categories or something?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I'm not sure that we as a council have received much information on this item, but we're having a meeting tomorrow, and one of the subjects will be efforts to ensure that councils are aware of this and how it is that councils can submit items and what happens to them after that.
Perfect. I'll be waiting to see what happens.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you. Oh, I'd like to make a comment.
Yes.
I'd like to say thank you for all the presentations that you did at all the different Acadian events that went on
Oh, yeah.
this summer.
Good job.
Thank you so much
Awesome job.
from all the Acadians that are in the area and beyond. Thank you.
Good job.
Further comments? Okay. Page 21, recommendations from 2024-0910 Position Recruitment and Retention Committee. Counselor or somebody?
Longmire.
Put Longmire on.
Longmire.
I move that municipal council approve a grant in the amount of $10,000 to Dr. Nima Shakar Rees Formani in accordance with Policy 108 Medical Recruitment Financial Assistance Program.
Seconded by Counselor Rowe. Discussion, please. Counselor Sherry.
Just a question in regards to where the funds are coming from, because I realize we depleted the community grants funds, and I'm not sure if that's coming out of the same.
CAO, please.
I think Ms. Campbell can answer that one.
There was a portion segregated out, I believe it was 30,000.
Okay, so
And
it's
so there's a couple of places where grants are allocated from. And so we made special allocations this year in the budget for this program and also for the new remote program for generators for halls.
Okay.
So that was a bit of an adjustment from the previous budget year.
So after this has been taken out, is there any left out of the 30,000?
So the way the policy actually works is there's 50% put up front, and then the remaining 50% goes out within 12 months.
Okay,
So it will not deplete for
okay,
this year.
gotcha. Thank you.
So it's not a lump sum.
Further comments? Counselor Connell, please.
So just wondering where this doctor's gonna be out of.
Yes, so this position will operate out of Middleton and will share a portion of the emergency services inside Social Memorial Hospital and the collaborative care next door.
Maybe I'll have it done.
Further comments?
I'll get it done.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Page 22 and 23, Counselor Longmire, please.
I move that staff prepare a new terms of reference for council's review to establish a glyphosate ad hoc committee.
Thank you, seconded by Counselor Enslow. Discussion. Counselor Gunn.
Thank you. How'd you know that without looking at me?
Peripheral vision.
To what end? So I'd like to ask one thing before we vote on this is where are we going with another glyphosate committee? We've been down this path twice now, and the first one was created in 2020, completed in 2022. The task gathered about glyphosate. We petitioned the community at large about its use. We compiled information, gathered, and we made recommendations to council. We shared the data throughout the community. We gave people options to the use of glyphosate. We have banned the use of glyphosate on the use of in county properties, on county property. Glyphosate is not allowed to be sprayed on Crown land. It's only private land that they're allowed to spray glyphosate on. It's a substance that is controlled by Health Canada. We can have no effect against Health Canada, I don't think, unless we really dig very deeply into our pockets and say that we'll take them on to no end. So there's really, I feel there's not much we can do. I'm all for, not using glyphosate. I don't like glyphosate at all. But how much can we fight it? And to what effect can we fight it? I don't think we can. Possibly there is talk that New Brunswick has done some things, Maine has done some things. I don't know if that's where we're going. Spray Tech versus Hudson's an old case. We've all heard of that. Their only effect was spraying in community. That's the only effect. They could stop using spray for their lawns. That was the only effect Hudson had in banning it in the end. But if we want to take on the federal government, sign me up. I don't see where it's going to be. We can look at the use of glyphosate again. We can mirror what we've already done. And if you want to do that, sign me on, kids. Thank you. I'm done.
Councilor Crowder.
Thank you. Glyphosate's been in the news, and it seems to be a yearly cycle. And I also served on the committee that Councilor Gunn has talked about. We talked to people out in the community and circulated information, compiled information, as he said. A number of the farmers who use this product have told me, folks I've talked to in Kings County and in Annapolis County, that without some way to safely use a product like this, and they use a low drift, they only spray close to the ground, and do it safely as they can, follow all the rules. And in the past, since that committee dissolved, we did, as the chair, the former chair has stated a number of things. When it has occurred, we have done what we can do, which is, as a council, ask the warden to send a letter to the province, which they send a very polite form letter back, informing us that it's not our job and they're going to do what the province allows these companies to do. I in no way take away the seriousness of glyphosate and its effect on animals, plants, sometimes unintentional as well as perhaps humans. Although you could stack this room full of the studies that have been done around the world on this. As was stated by Councillor Gunn, we have done, it would appear, all that we can do. And there are a lot of farmers who really say they need that. Thank you.
Councilor Bartow, please.
I was on that committee as well, and basically reached the end of its mandate, but there's nothing saying it can't be reactivated based on what's happening today. The issuing of these permits seems, there's potential that not researched properly before they do. There's areas that are in question now that seems to be raised to our attention. Spraying permits in runoff areas for water supplies or adjacent farmlands that are handling these sprays are a no-no because they lose their classification. So I think there may be some merit in moving forward to, it seems like we're talking to people who don't want to listen. How do you get over that hurdle? I don't have the magic answer for that. But if you don't try, nothing's going to happen. So I think maybe a an effort. Even if we can write some more follow-up letters, maybe if they get enough letters from us, they might say, let's take a look at this. They're not just going away. And they swat us away like an irritating fly. So I think that personally, that whether it can have the desired effect or not, I think that we maybe should move ahead and reactivate that ad hoc committee.
I just want, we've had a discussion here, parts of which are not exactly germane to the motion, but the motion is not to reactivate the committee.
No. Okay.
Councillor LeBlanc.
No, I have listened to all the comments that were made in this committee beforehand, before, if we would activate, has done a phenomenal job. Is this committee supposed to be an ad hoc committee? And then they would specifically at that point decide what their mandate would be.
Not exactly.
So,
If council adopts this motion, the staff is asked to prepare a terms of reference for council's review relative to the establishment of a committee. So at an appropriate time, we will be presented with a suggested terms of reference.
okay.
Thank you for that. With the timing of things, I want to take the opportunities where they present themselves, because I'm not really offering in the election, so I got to keep my oar in the water for the next month.
Right. Further comment on asking staff to prepare a terms of reference relative to the establishment of the Plaza Vega Committee.
I'm just wondering how much work this is for staff, where they've already gone down the road, as Councillor Gunn had suggested. So I'm just curious how much staff time this would take.
CAO?
No way to tell. The terms of reference will not be a significant amount of time. But if council then adopts the terms of reference, I'm sure that council members that were on the committee previously will know there was a significant amount of time put into that committee. All the research, all the reports, all the letter writing. So if the terms of reference is not a lot of work, but the work after that, I expect will be a lot of work.
With staff involvement?
With staff and council.
Yeah. Okay.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You can be the first one.
Okay, so it's 7. Opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4. Motion is adopted. Thank you. Next new business is on special council meetings. We have 3 motions. Motion number 1. Councillor Gunn, please.
Sure, motion 1. I move in anticipation that the Planning Advisory Committee may recommend the Cornwallis Park SPS LUB for first reading, that Municipal Council schedule a special council meeting on October 1st, 2024 at 10 a.m. to consider the first reading.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Sheridan. Discussion. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion 2. Councillor Enslow, please.
I move that Municipal Council schedule a public hearing regarding the Cornwallis Park SPS and LUB on October 17th, 2024 at 11 a.m.
Thank you. Seconded by
Right here.
Counselor Gunn. Discussion. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion 3. Counselor Gunn.
So, I move that municipal council schedule a special council meeting to consider second and final reading of the Cornwallis Park SPS LUB on October 17th, 2024, immediately following the public hearing.
Thank you. Seconded by Deputy Warden. Discussion. Deputy Warden.
I thought I remembered it, we required a month between the first and second readings. No?
10 days?
It's a 14-day
14.
advertising requirement.
Thank you.
10 for
Further-
bylaws, 14.
And our,
Further discussion? Deputy Warden.
and our public participation policy doesn't require a month?
We'll check.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? 1. Motion carried. Thank you. Next is a request for an emergency grant to the Maitland Bridge Community Hall. Who would like this? Councilor Gunn.
I recommend that council approve a grant of $4,300 to Maitland Bridge Community Hall Society to assist with emergency repairs to their well, and that this funding be approved as an over expenditure in the community grants budget in 2024-25.
Thank you. Seconded by Deputy Warden. Discussion, please. Okay. Councilor Connell and Councilor Gunn.
I would rather see the $4,300 come out of our reserve for culture and recreation, because that's what that was originally made for, was emergency situations within our county. That once we spent our allotted amount, that monies that we put in that reserve was there for emergencies. And this is very much so an emergency. So I'd rather see it, instead of an over expenditure, I'd rather see it come out of that cultural reserve. Recreation reserve.
Thank you. Councilor Gunn, please.
Thank you. Listen, I just want to give a little backstory to this. The gentleman that ran the hall up there, you'll remember months ago, I mentioned how he suddenly, just died on us. And he had ran that hall for probably 35 Roger, keeping everything, everything going along. And he passed away on us. Well, he knew where the well was. Somewhere along the line, the well got covered over. Somewhere in the last 35, the pump's given out. So they have a drilled well that somebody's covered over, and they need to find and put a new well or new pump and line in it, and they need to extend the top of the well up. It's because the guy who always ran the hall passed away, which would lead me into another whole conversation about halls, but I'll leave that alone. Thank you.
Councilor Marshall, please.
The amount, they said they had bid for 6,000. What's their policy say for the percentage that we will pay?
2/3.
2/3? Okay. Just to believe the 4,300 was, and is the 6,000 before or after tax?
So 6,000 plus HST. So if you take 2/3 of 6,000, that gives you 3,000. No, sorry, 2/3 gives you 4,000. The HST is 900. They get 50% back as a nonprofit, which sits down to 450. If you take 66, 2/3% of 900 of $450 gives you $300. It gives you $4,300.
You've got quite a formula there.
Works.
Okay.
Done in your brain.
Not his first rodeo.
Thank you. Councilor Connell, do you wish to make an amendment to this motion?
No.
Well, I just wanted to put out there that that's what we always did, was with that capital reserve, was that we put 50,000 into it every year for emergencies and for And I know the policy was changed a bit to adapt to other things, but that's what that fund was originally put in place for. So, if council feels that they want to do an overrun and Chris has to find the money somewhere to balance, that's fine with me. I mean, I'm just stating a fact, is why did we put 50,000 into a reserve if we're not gonna use it for emergencies like it was planned for? I mean, if we're not gonna use it, then maybe next year we shouldn't put the 50,000 in there. That's crazy, because we need an account or a fund to be able to dip into when things like this come forward.
Councillor Sheridan, followed by Councillor LeBlanc.
I just had two quick questions in regards to how much money there is sitting in that reserve and what the policy does state on that reserve.
I don't have the policy in front of me, but it does, it's for land acquisition, land development, and if there's emergency stuff in there as well, so it's pretty general. Yeah. How much is in there, it's not very much, because I know we spent a lot in the last couple of years.
Right.
And so we put another 50 or 55,000 in there this year, so I'm guessing, I better not even guess, but I'm thinking, well, I don't even want to guess.
Okay.
There's not a lot of money in there, and so staff are recommending it just be an overage, because it's a small amount, it's a one-time thing.
Right.
I don't want to deplete that, because if something comes up down the road that we have a bigger emergency, or if we want to acquire a piece of land for a park or something else, a bigger project,
Right.
there won't be any money there.
Yeah, I didn't think there was much left in there as well, so I'm guessing there, like you, there's at least 50 in there.
Well, yeah, from this year, yeah, but not a lot more after that.
Yeah,
so.
okay.
Councillor LeBlanc, please.
I guess my comment was the same. I'd rather leave that alone and take it from where it's supposed to be taken from. And we might get emergencies in that area.
A
or
bigger one,
ones,
yeah.
Thank you. Further discussion on the motion? Councillor Hudson, please.
I guess I'd just like my clarification, and maybe Councillor Gunn could provide that explanation. So this is a drill well, and so this project is what, to locate that well and replace the submersible pump that's in that well? Okay, so that's the work that they're looking at.
Yes, sir, if I may, sir. Thank you. It's the well has been buried.
Yeah.
They need to put 3 feet on it so the head of it's up above the ground.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The pump inside the well has got to be replaced.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And the line from that well to there, I'm sure will have to be replaced.
Okay.
Right, so
Okay.
the price they came in was actually $6,800, I think, is what
Okay.
their quote was. But anyway. Thank you.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. And we have our councillor motion tracking list included in our package, as you know. Shortly, I'm going to call for a motion to go into camera. But before I do that, I wish to let everyone know that after we deal with the in-camera items, we will come back into open session, deal with any business with which we feel we need to deal, and then I will recess this council meeting until 2 p.m. today. Could I have a motion to go in camera, please, in accordance with section 22(2)A, acquisition.
You didn't do number 7.
Oh, I didn't do the 7. Remember everything I said up until now.
I didn't want to stop you in your...
Well, you're on a roll.
Yeah.
Councillor Collins.
But you just didn't want to hear from us.
Thank you. Good morning from District 1. Since our last regular council meeting, I've attended a training session for the Police Advisory Board, along with the Police Advisory Board meeting itself on July 25th in Chambers. This month, I've given a presentation at the Wilmot and Area Neighborhood Watch. And in addition, last night, I had the pleasure, along with other councilors, to attend the East End Community Group Advisory meeting on how things are developing on in the East End. And in addition, as always, I've spoken with a number of residents on a variety of topics. I will say that summer is quickly drawing to a close, as evidenced by the cooler nights, along with a slight change, not as much as I would have expected, in the foliage in Annapolis County. Fall will mean an abundance of local produce, especially a great variety of apples that you'll start to see in the farm stands and the farmers markets. And I would encourage everyone to support our local farmers and to enjoy their many products. And finally, with the start of the new school year, we all need to keep in mind to keep an eye open for our students as well as the buses as we all adjust to the timetables and where they're going, what the bus routes are. And I'd like to wish all students, staff, and parents best wishes for a good school year. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Coffin.
Good morning, greetings from District 2. Lots of fall activities in District 2, the Spur Brothers Pavilion and vegetable takeout. They got quite a little business there. They're putting together their Halloween and their fall hay bales, and they got a big turkey there for the kids to play with. And an owl as well. And an owl, yeah. And so they're actually fairly busy. They usually have music there on Saturday nights, and they have food trucks come in. So they have created quite a business, and they're quite fairly busy. So hats off to them, to the Spur family. Breakfasts, the first Saturday of the month will be in Margarettsville, and the first Sunday is Port George breakfast. Also, this month, we finally, after a year, got our generator up and running for the Comfort Center in Port George. Very slow process dealing with trying to get a Generac, finally getting a Generac, blowing up the motherboard in the Generac as they hooked it up, and then finally getting reps to come back down and fix it. And it was a painful operation to try to coordinate Irving Oil, Generac, and the electrician had to be there all the same time to make sure everything ran, but they never could get their stuff together to get it. So it's been a year, but it's finally up and running, and we're hoping to have a grand opening sometime this month to invite some people and show them what we've achieved at the hall. Also, the grant we gave the Lighthouse Society in Port George, I think they've got their lighthouse all redone. It looks phenomenal, and I saw the carpenters over there working pretty steady at it. So, thank you very much. Have a good fall.
Thank you. Well, I want to welcome everyone to fall, or almost fall, or I don't know if it's actually fall or not. Not yet, 21st, right? So it was a busy August. I spent a lot of time within the community. We had a lot of events. I had the pleasure to attend the Acadian ceremony at Hebb's Landing, which was phenomenal. And it's nice to see all these plaques. I'm a big historian buff, so it's nice to see these things. As well, I attended the Cider Fest events, and it was great to see that tradition continuing to happen, even though we don't make cider in Bridgetown anymore. But we still have a lot of apple orchards. I even had the pleasure of eating my own apples on my property, because this is the first year we've actually had apples. So I don't know what I did different. I'd also want to let people know that the Lions breakfast is going to start after the summer break. So the very first one will be first Saturday in October at 8 o'clock. I also attended the the Bridgetown Volunteer Fire Department breakfast for Cider Fest. It's nice to see not only do they keep our houses from burning to the ground, but they also make some good pancakes and sausages and eggs without burning them, so, yeah.
So you're not the culprit.
And I'd also like to mention the amount of events that are coming through the fall within my district and various other districts. Is way too many to list here. So I'd like to just point out that citizens should really look at the Annapolis County event guide and also look at the Bridgetown Rieger. That has lists of everything you could ever imagine, from yoga to support groups to any type of event. That's all I have, and look forward to next month. Thank you. Thanks.
Guess I'm up. Greetings from District 4. August was a very busy month. The time flew by. I attended all the events that I could without double booking, which meant that I missed some. Great to see the participation by the community members and the support for all the events. I'd like to say thank you to my constituents for having faith in me to serve you for the capacity as council for the last 4 years. It's been an interesting 4-year run. And now it's come time to move on with the next phase of my life. I wish the best to the new candidates who are running for a position on council for the next 4-year term. Having said that, I'll get back to the community again, and there are various activities, pancakes, breakfasts, and other fundraising endeavors to ensure these organizations continue to exist. Please get out and support their efforts. Please support the local farms in the harvest season. The county is a strong supporter of community halls and venues to bring our people together, to make stronger communities. Next month brings elections, and it is with a degree of sadness that I will pass the torch. I will be working hard for you up until that time. Thank you very so much.
Thank you.
Greetings from District 5. Summer Shore has gotten away from us. I don't know where it disappeared to, but it seems that I have missed a tremendous amount of it. I have yet to have my first barbecue, so I'm hopeful that I'll fit that in the fall. We're days away. The summer, it was great, however. The weather beautiful and the communities were bustling with tourists and families home to visit. There were loads of festivals and celebrations, as we know, throughout the county, and I was so fortunate to be able to fit a tremendous amount of them in. A huge shout out to TIR, so Transportation Infrastructure Group. They're cleaning up the sides of the roads. You're going to be able to see something before it hits the yellow line. Yesterday they were over in District 5, and I stopped to chat with them and to thank them for their work. It does make a significant difference and gives us a little more time and space to avoid a near collision or collision with wildlife. I was met with smiles. As one gentleman piped up and said, often when someone stops, they're there to complain. And I told him that I was not doing that today. I was ever so grateful. School has begun, as Councillor Prout spoke about. And we are to be reminded of the safety on our roads, sidewalks, and other, watching for children walking to and from school, and of course playing, and as well going off to activities. I certainly would like to conclude by sharing just a few little events, and I know this weekend does bring about the expo and such on Saturday. But there's a coffee house, Young's Cove Recreation Community Hall. They often have their little coffee houses in the morning around 9 a.m. for about an hour and a half. These are great times to come together with, of course, citizens in your own districts throughout our halls, but as well for others to travel around and meet and see people in other communities. a roast beef dinner, September 20th at the Hillsborough Baptist Church, 5 p.m., and it is first come, first served. It will go on until exhausted. As well, there is an event happening at the Lower Granville Hall, and that is joining in with the Queen of Hearts and Alice in her wonderful book, one of my favorite. I think I have every version ever written of Alice in Wonderland because I needed a different cover. Anyway, that is scheduled for 2 to 4 on Saturday, September 21st, and it is a tea party, and wear your fancy fare and come and enjoy little sandwiches and little sweet treats, and there'll be things there for children to do as well. Thanks.
There is no change in the level of activity from one end of District 6 to another. What I want to talk about, though, is the pride that people have with regard to the appearance of the areas in which they live. And there is a piece of land in Cornwallis Park that has been permitted, allowed, dare I say encouraged, to go fallow, and the resulting upheaval from the ground to the length now of at least 1 meter has not been dealt with. And in 12 years, this piece of unmown, untended grass has elicited the attention, or been brought to the attention, of the staff member responsible for unsightly endangered properties. And I'm really pleased that when citizens want something done, if they view something is not in order, that they are making a noise, and we hope that that noise will result in this area of ground being returned to its normal, attractive stature. Thank you.
Greetings from District 7. I have attended several events over the month of August, most of which have already been mentioned, so I won't list them again. I would just like to mention a couple of coming events that are coming up in District, I guess District 7, and maybe one that's even in District 3. The first one, for those enthusiasts, there's an ATV rally in Dalhousie this Saturday, September 21st, 2024. Registration for the rally will be between 9 and 10, and the cost is $20 a vehicle, okay, whether it's a 4x4 or a side-by-side. Departure will be from the West Dalhousie Community Hall, and the route will cover approximately 100 kilometers. There will be a cash barbecue at the halfway point of the rally, and there will be a 50-50 draw. The other thing I'd like to mention is that the Bridgetown Curling Club is having a chicken barbecue takeout dinner on the 21st as well. It's a takeout which will run between 4 and 6 p.m. That afternoon. There's a cost of $20 a plate, and you will get a half chicken, a half barbecue chicken, a baked potato, coleslaw, a roll, and dessert. If you would like to reserve tickets, please call Brenda Ernest at 665-2935. Thank you.
Hi. This is Councilor Enslow. You know, they're looking for somebody to set up another cider press in Bridgetown.
There you go.
There's lots of apple. Anyway, first I'd like District report. First, I'd like to thank council, all of you guys, for your support to get Bear River water going in. Without without your support, that project would just be another pipe dream, in the back of people's heads. So I must thank you all while you're still, we're all still here together. I hope that everyone had a wonderful July and August, and were able to recharge their batteries in the sunshine and in the garden. I'll touch on the many community events that I attended across the district, but I must begin with a report on the Cherry Carnival in Bear River. They expanded that celebration with a number of events throughout the week preceding the big day. And I was happy to participate in a fundraiser for the community kitchen, which included a kayak paddle the length of Bear River. So around 20 participants parked at the highway at 101 and went under the bridge at the mouth of Bear River, put their boats in, and we paddled with the tide, of course, into town. We enjoyed a lunch and a gathering, and then paddled back with the tide to where we were parked, and a good time was had by all. The actual Bear River Cherry Carnival Day featured parades, markets, and the famed grease pole. Oh my God, and they had a hook on the end of the grease pole. Nobody was getting that flag. But they tried. Oh God, they tried. Grease pole, music and meals. Fireworks. Oh my God, the fireworks are great, and a lot of laughs. From what I could tell, it had more events than before and more people than I've seen in a long time. The fire department and the Legion were fantastic hosts, and so many volunteers were involved in making this happen that I wouldn't know where to begin to recognize them all. And so thank you to each and every one. I've also attended the night markets in Bear River, which is a showcase of local vendors, booths, and musicians, and also the fire department breakfast, where you can get a spectacular meal and see a lot of familiar faces and meet a lot of new ones along the way. The Acadian Congress seemed to be enormously well attended across the county and included many historic and genealogical features of interest to both locals and visitors. I was pleased to be able to participate in a number of these events and certainly appreciated the many people who made the celebrations happen. I'm hoping that people with gardens were as blessed as the many roadside stands I've stopped at in Clemensville, which leads me to the seasonal celebrations we have coming up. The Fall Fest in the Vale. Fall Fest in the Vale is on October 5th, a day of market, vendors, cakewalk, face painting, and music. Now, we didn't say that's at the Foresters Hall in Clemensville. Harvest Fest at Milford House, or not at Milford, at Milford Hall. Promises to be a fabulous supper to raise funds for the Milford Hall, and it's on October 26th, and the sitting is between 4 and 6. I'll be washing the dishes. Plan ahead, this is a good one. Plan ahead for the Lantern Festival through Bear River this fall, November 1st. A creative, illuminated costume parade. Now, so what people are building are these big illuminated creatures, creatures and things, and we're going to have a parade up through town with them, right? So, it should be a lot of fun. We're hoping that, actually, I don't know if we're going to have to do it legally or not, but they want to close the road down for a few minutes, and I thought it'd be best to get permission afterwards. It's heartening for me to see the community growth through all of these celebrations that we have, and I thank all the people that make them happen. Thank you.
Thank you. So regarding the upcoming election, I just want to throw out a shout out and congratulations to two acclaimed people, Diane LeBlanc, and in my district, Gidget Oxner, and I want to thank Gidget for stepping up, and she had no other person running, so I just want to let the people know in my district there will be no election, and I'm assuming that you can start to vote, I believe is October the 7th, online and by phone. So I'm wishing all the candidates all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
District 10, I will email these to you, Don. Family Matters is having a crockpot night for children 4+ and their male identifying caregivers. Attendees get a crock pot and the necessary items for 4 recipes. It's October 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Lawrencetown Education Center, 10 Middle Road in Lawrencetown. Registration is required. You can call or text 902-679-9350. Family Matters also runs a host of other programs, primarily oriented at early families. They operate a book club, baby groups, and a community pantry. And most of their events are supported with childcare, which I thought was very interesting. One of the things I went to this last month was not a council thing, it was a family thing. It was a school bus orientation, and a lot of small children who were very excited to ride a school bus. I found that hard to fathom, as an adult and thinking back to school, but the kids were ecstatic. And so one of the questions that got asked, among dozens of questions, was how often the stop signs get run on the school buses. And we were told it's more than once a week per bus,
Wow.
which is a huge amount. So there you go. That's it.
Councilor Long.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'd like to start with that our young people are back in school again. Here we go. And I wish them all a fantastic year of learning and adventure. And that's one thing. Secondly, I'd like to also make our citizens go check out the Three Rivers Community Center's Facebook page, because the activities will be starting again in full form, so there might be something out there that interests you. Thirdly, I went to all these activities during the summertime, but I'm not going to list any because everyone has listed them one way or another. But I do wish to say that, yes, there will be no election in District 11 as I am McLean. But I wish all the candidates that are out there pounding the pavement a great campaign and a safe one. Last but not least, it's with sadness that in my district that we had a serious situation of a missing Miss Jones, and her family have been going through a lot of anguish in the last 2 weeks, and I'm hoping that everything comes to a great ending for them in the way they wish to see it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else I've missed?
No, sir.
So we'll start again with the council motion tracking list in your package. And we will go into camera, and when we come out of camera, we will deal with any business with which we need to deal. And then I will place the meeting in recess until 2 p.m. I would like a motion to go in camera in accordance with Section 22.2A, acquisition, sale, lease, and security of municipal property, and Section 22.2E, contract negotiations.
Right.
Councillor Gunn, Councillor LeBlanc, discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Approved.